So in this tutorial, I'll be using this very pale colored green, almost like a pale minty green, but you can use whatever color that you'd like, lilac, dark green, light green, anything. So we're going to start with a simple slip knot on the hook, and then we're going to chain 2 in order to begin. So chain 2, 1 and 2. Now for our first little petal, we're going to start with a chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch back into that chain for 2. So chain 3, slip stitch 2. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to slip stitch into the next chain on the hook. So not the chain on the hook, but the next one. So we're going to slip stitch and just pull a bit so that we can get it through. And that is it. So the hook goes in the chain, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loops on the hook. And that is a slip stitch. Now we're going to chain 4 and slip stitch 3 for the next petal. So again, going into the chain, the next chain on the hook for our slip stitch. So we go in, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on the hook. And we're slip stitching 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to have 3 of these bigger petals in total. So this is number 1. And again, we are going to have to chain 4 and then slip stitch 3 for the bigger petal. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now slip stitch 3. And we're going to repeat that process for the third petal, which again is chaining 4 and slip stitching 3. Now we're going to create the tip of our leaf, which has 3 leaves that work together. So we're going to do 3 sets of chain 3, slip stitch 2. Okay, so now we need to chain 3 and slip stitch 2. So that was petal number 1. Again, we are going to chain 3 and slip stitch 2 for petal number 2 of our ending off piece. And now we're doing our third petal for our ending off piece, which again is a chain 3, slip stitch 2. We're going to slip stitch into the third leaf on the chain. So count 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch into the hole that's on the chain there. So there's that hole by the leaf. You should see a little hole, and that is where we're going to slip stitch into. So count 1, 2, 3, and we're slip stitching into that hole. So just yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on the hook. And that creates our little ending off piece for our leaf. And now we need to work back up the chain. So in order to do that, we're going to chain 4 and then slip stitch 3. And from now on, every time you finish off a petal, you're going to be slip stitching back into the chain, and there should be a leaf on the other side of the chain that you are kind of making a straight line with. So there's going to be a leaf on either side of the chain. That is the goal. So now we're going to slip stitch back into the chain where that gap is for the leaf. Okay, so now we're going to chain 4, slip stitch 3. And again, slip stitch into the next leaf on the chain into that gap, so that we have 2 petals on either side of the chain. And again, we're going to chain 4 and slip stitch 3. So either side of the chain, the petals should be a mirror image of each other. And again, we just need to slip stitch back into the gap for the next leaf on the chain. And now we only have one little petal left, and we're going to chain 3, slip stitch 2. And again, slip stitch into the next leaf on the chain in that little gap. And to end everything off, we're just going to slip stitch back up that starting chain. So there should be 2 stitches. So we're just going to go into the first chain closest to our slip stitch, and then the next chain, do a slip stitch. And in order to finish it off, we are going to chain 1 and then cut off the end. And we want to give it a pull and tighten everything. And now we have 1 singular petal, and we need a total of 8 of these leaves like this.